barbershop at home. Actually doing a afternoon shave today. I just got home from the shop and I had the morning from Hades this morning, and it's kind of an interesting story that involves airplanes, a trip, a chauffeur, another trip, and everything else. So, those of you that remember, last week, my good buddy Nurse Dave over in the Bay Area decided to trade production crews to see, if they could learn from each other and to see, how things would go. Well, as you remember by both videos, we're pretty set in our ways. And then I come to find out that we've got a third party involved in this now. Well, that's where my problem started today. So normally my Gulfstream pilot, who is also the limo driver, who is also my valet, wakes me up during the work week at about 4:30 in the morning, because I usually have to be at the shop fairly early. Well, this morning at 6 a.m., I just happened to open my eyes, and there is this green-eyed Siberian Husky German Shepherd staring at me in the face, basically saying, "Dude, I was supposed to go out 2.5 hours ago. You better do something quick." So I jump out of bed, let the dog out. Now, at this point, I don't even know what time it is. And I realize it's about 5 after, 10 after 6. Oh, man, I got to get to the shop. So I didn't even get a chance to take a shower this morning. I washed my face, brushed my teeth. Luckily, my hair is short, and I was able to comb it into place, and boom, off to the shop I went. Well, on the way to the shop, of course, I had to drive my own car. I start making phone calls to find out where my production crew's at. And this is where it gets pretty interesting, because if you remember last week, during my video, I was talking to the head of their production company, who is a girl by the name of Sharon. Now, this girl, Sharon, I now refer to as Sharon, the beatnik of the Tibetan singing bowl. But anyways, so as you know, I told them to get out of here because they were getting into my liquor cabinet. They were smoking hookahs in the middle of my den. It was just too much. Well, they leave, apparently, and they go to the airport. Well, in the meantime, I was flying my production crew back because it was an emergency to get them back here so we could fix it for the next day. Well, what I found out is, in a roundabout way, one of my production staff, who is a guy by the name of Dave, he's a little weird, but he goes by the moniker Der Eisenhuth, like he's some German count or something like that. Well, apparently, in some weird twist of fate, him and Sharon met at the airport and they hit it off. Oh, and by the way, I'll go over all the other stuff, but the soap, or the razor, see how messed up it is? I don't have any type of cue cards. I don't have any type of teleprompter, because my production crew is finally on the way back to Tucson, but I don't know that for sure. And so what happened is, apparently Der Eisenhuth met Sharon in the airport when they got off at the terminal, and they hit it off. So, big deal. They hit it off. Who cares? And so it was no big deal to me that they hit it off. I mean, I don't care. And but some other things happened. So, by the way, I'm using a Dovo 4/8 INOX that I won on the auction at TSC. Now, this is going to be a two-part video because this has not been honed. This is a factory edge just stropped, and we'll see how it does, and then we'll see if I have to hone it, which I'm probably going to have to. So anyways, here we go. So anyways, so I find out that Der Eisenhuth and Sharon, the Tibetan Chinese singing bowl guru, or whatever you want to call her, hit it off. Well, in the meantime, I guess David hit it off with my production crew pretty good, and had said, "Hey, why don't you guys, if you ever have a chance, come back out to San Francisco and, we'll have some fun." So, no big deal. Well, what I come to find out is my production crew was invited by Nurse Dave to a whiskey soiree in San Francisco or the Bay Area yesterday. But my staff didn't bother to tell me that, and they happened to talk my pilot slash chauffeur slash valet into taking them without my knowledge. So this is why I'm doing a shave in the afternoon. And who knows what happened at that whiskey soiree. I mean, I certainly appreciate that Nurse Dave hosted these guys, but, you know, a little advance notice, huh? So I can plan ahead. Well, in the meantime, later on in the afternoon, before I decide to come home, I get a phone call from my pilot. And he's like, hey, we need to make a deviation. And I said, why? He goes, well, we got to pick up Pablo. I said, where's Pablo? Isn't he supposed to be with you? Pablo's my gaffer. And he goes, no, we kind of made a little detour before we went to San Francisco. And we dropped him off at Major Rich's house in the Columbus area. I said, what the heck did we do that for? He goes, well, because, we had seen his video, and we know that he wanted some help, so we thought we'd help him out. And then so one of Dave's crew, and then we picked up one of Dave's crew in Denver, flew to Columbus, dropped him off, Rich picked him up, and so we have to deviate to get up there and bring him back. So I'm like, geez, I mean, it's nice to know that I control what's going on. So I also find out that Rich, they're gonna give some pointers to Safety Cat, because they found out that Safety Cat is actually a world-renowned shaving monitor, and so they want to give some tips to Safety Cat as well. So that's kind of why my day was so discombobulated, and me having to do an afternoon shave, which is crazy. This factory edge is decent. It's not something that I would shave with again, so I will be honing this. I just wanted to try it, because sometimes Dovos can have pretty good factory edges. But this one is decent, but not a smooth cauticule edge like I like. So we'll do that. So, so that's what kind of crazy day I had. A good day at the shop, but geez, it would have been nice. And my pilot slash valet slash limo driver and I are going to have a little bit of a discussion, and he may end up with a crew cut without him knowing it. Because you don't take somebody's production crew, But I hope that Dave and the crew had a good time at this whiskey soiree. Because I tried to get a hold of my production lead, Der Eisenhuth, but I think that him and Sharon, the Tibetan singing bowl girl from Dave's crew, probably had a real good time and are probably nursing hangovers at this point. So we shall see. Yeah, because when I won, going back to this razor, when I won this razor from Matt, I mean, this is an NOS Dovo 4/8 INOX stainless steel. I'm even forgetting. See, this is why having a production crew is so important. I totally forgot this part. But anyhow, so Matt on the Shaving Cadre forum did not hone this, and then he also sent me a Wade Butcher to because he was having some, I guess he couldn't get a good edge on it. I don't know if there's some geometry problems, so I'm going to take a look at that and see if I can get that fixed up for him, or at least see if it's something we're both having in common. Because as most of you know, that I used to use Shafton stones, but I got in the habit of using caudicules and either black or translucent Arkansas for the finishing stones. And that's the only edge I like anymore, and I can really tell the difference. A cauticule edge may not be the absolute sharpest edge, but to me, it's the smoothest edge and the softest on the face, which I like. And you can tell that this Dovo edge is a machine edge. Oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. So I get to the shop. I'm running really late. I still get there early enough to get everything prepped for my first shaving client. But I think that when you're going to work anyways, you should try to shave every day. But I didn't have time to, even though I've got a lot of the same shaving stuff at the shop, I didn't have, time to get everything ready to do a hot towel and do all this other stuff. So I have a Braun 7, a Braun 9 that I use for those folks that want to get fades, but don't necessarily want to pay, bald fades rather, that don't want to pay for a razor fade. So instead of the straight razor, we use the electric razor to get that bald appearance. A little bit cheaper for them. So I figured, well, what the heck, I will do a little electric action just to become presentable for the day. That was a mistake. Oh, what a horrid, horrid, horrid thing. I mean, the shave was close enough, but it's so mechanical. I mean, it's just, blah. So anyway, so hopefully tomorrow we'll have our production crew will be back. Last I heard, they were somewhere over Albuquerque and broached the beauty of having that flight follow. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup with a DE because I don't want to irritate my skin anymore, and I'll hone that either tomorrow or the next day and do a secondary shave with it. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was your typical factory edge, so it wasn't too bad. But the big kicker is going to see how did that factory edge do when it comes to alum. Not. Ooh, I take that back. Yeah, she's a little stingy. But this could also be for the fact that this is my second shave of the day. First with that stupid electric that works well for certain people and for doing fades on the head and stuff like that, but not for this. So who knows if and he says I have to call him Der Eisenhuth. So he maintains that German aristocracy, and and he probably has tapestries in his castle or something like that. And it's funny, he lives in a small town, so in just north of here in Arizona, and there's no castles up there, so who knows, it's probably a shack with who knows. But Der Eisenhuth and Sharon, the Tibetan singing bowl girl, are apparently hitting it off, so we'll see what happens. We're going to be using Thayer's Cucumber today because my production crew lost my Thayer's Lavender before they left. So, like I said, I think it's been a rough day for a few people. But anyways, so, okay, so here's what we used today. We used brand new, in fact, I just took the tag off, brand new in box 4/8 Dovo INOX with the factory edge. I'll be rehoning that very shortly. For the shave soap, because I know I needed to have something of a pickup after today, is the 70th from Seppa Ficcio Veracino and the Thayer's Cucumber. And like I said, I apologize, guys. I'm doing this on my own. I don't have any of my production notes with me. It's an afternoon shave, which is unheard of for me. So I apologize. We're going to be using 70th for the aftershave, Seppa Ficcio Veracino 70th, in this wonderful new bottle. And this stuff is just fantastic. This can make, the 70th can make a bad day good no matter what. You could be sitting on top of Mount Etna, and it could be going crazy as far as volcanic action. You'd put this stuff on, light up a nice cigar, and say, go ahead, do it, or whatever. So I'm not going to do the talc today, tonight, because there's really no point. For our brush, we use the Sapon Fiocchio Veracino Artisan 2.0 in ivory with the High Mountain Manchurian White Badger. And then for our EDP, we're going to be using the 70th as well. So folks, that's it. Once again, if you get a production company, just make sure that you know where they're at. And if you hire a plane captain to fly your Gulfstream around and drive your limo, make absolutely sure that he can't be bought. So anyways, Nurse Dave, I sincerely hope my crew and your crew had a good time, because we know Der Eisenhuth and Sharon the Tibetan Singing Bowl sure as heck did. So we'll see you on the forums. Don't forget www.theshavingcadre.com. Hope you had fun with this little parody, and we'll see you tomorrow or the next day. Have a great night.